Hey, Tim Rutledge here from Redline Bicycles again to share with Road Bike Review some of our 2013 products we're showing here and debuting at Sea Otter. This is our new Redline Conquest Team model. This is our 2013 version, and this bike has grown from what we did last year. We've made a few minor changes and some things that we hope to make this bike even better for all of our cross fanatics and racers out there. This bike now goes with full cable housing internal, so it is housing indeed run all the way, and we're allowed to do that because now we have a press fit bottom bracket, so a press fit 30 bottom bracket, and our engineer Kurt Hall has put a nice little keeper for the cables inside there so they don't rattle around. He has done a really smart idea of bulging the bottom bracket so that the cable housing can run and be out of the way of that BB, that bottom bracket that's going to press fit 30 bottom bracket. Then on the rear end, our carbon dropouts are now all one dropout and chainstay, where before we had a bolted system here, so that got cleaned up so that the juncture of chainstay and seat stays are now all one into the carbon dropout. The bike will continue to be 130 spacing in the rear end with the disc mounts, which is really great for cyclocross racing bikes with a 140 rotor is what it's designed for. The bike now sports, we're kind of proud of all the work we did. It now supports our UCI approved sticker, and there's our UCI approved number. And that's something that we did have last year, but the production bikes were done by the time we finally got our stickers. So just kind of nice to show off that, again, this is a UCI approved cyclocross frame. The front end stays with an 1.1 oversized top and a 1.5 lower crown. Our fork is the same as last year. It's really a beautiful fork. It's a 480 gram carbon fiber fork with carbon steer, and that 480 gram is with the steerer all the way at 280 millimeters. And we still stay with our hole through the fork, so if you do want to put a bolt-on cable housing stop, you can still do that. Redline was one of the first to use a cable housing stop like that, but I can assure you that when you run with a regular hanger off of here for your cable housing stop off of your steer tube, that you'll have no shudder and no issues with your braking. But if you prefer to go with a cable housing stop, indeed, again, it's drilled all the way through. You can mount it up to the fork. As we go to the rear of the bike, we not only see those cleaner stays, but it does give you a view of what we've always done on this frame. We have just super stout and beefy chain stays, and they basically transfer the power so well. This is a rear end that's a 415 on the chainstay length, and that combination of a little bit tighter rear end with those chainstays that are so thick and beefy mean that when you jump out of every corner in a cyclocross race, which now cyclocross races are nothing but lots of cornering, and accelerating out of those corners is very important. And this frame is basically designed for modern cyclocross with that in mind. We also, Redline was the first to pioneer a slightly lower bottom bracket height because of fatter tires. Well, fatter tires today, 32 and 34, are the norm. Back in the beginning, a lot of tires were 30 to 28C. Most were 28C. You get a fatter tire, raises up your bottom bracket. So Redline was the first to lower the bottom bracket height. And what we find is the lower bottom bracket height combined with the shorter length chainstays basically makes the bike much more stable when you're going into a barrier at 20 miles an hour and have one foot clipped in as you go to do a quick dismount. Also, it makes the bike accelerate out of the corners very fast, which that's what it's all about today. Ever since the UCI changed the rules in about 2000-2001 and made cyclocross a tighter race format, and they wanted to have the races be closer and be a little bit more exciting, Redline has been really on the forefront of designing bikes that conform to that style of racing, and that's what you see here. The weight now of our frame set is this 54 centimeter is right at 1,120 grams. Last year we were right around 1,200 grams. We've essentially lost about 80 grams by not having the aluminum piece that sat inside there before that held the BB30 bearings. So dropped a little bit of weight there. We do stay with 2 water bottle mounts. A lot of people love to use the bike for adventure racing and dirt fondos, gravel racing. We even have Greg LeMond riding the Conquest Team right now, and he did the Hood River Fondo last year, and he just loves the bike. So it doesn't take anything away from it being a great cross frame by having a couple of holes, but it does make it able to where you can ride with 2 bottles and really use the bike for more than just specifically cross racing. But yet, as a cross racer, it's a thoroughbred. We won 2 national championships last year in cyclocross, and a world championship with Dan Norton, our longtime cross guy. He's an amazing racer and has been with Redline Cyclocross since the beginning of Redline Cyclocross in 1994. Dan Norton has been one of our top riders. So this new frame set should be ready to go in mid-July. It's the time we like to hit with all of our new cross product. And so we feel that with these improvements and full cable housing, what we've done with the bottom bracket, are going to make this a new frame that people will want to look at for this upcoming season. And if you're making a choice for your new race bike, we hope that you consider and choose a Redline.